morning. Oh, your head got chopped off. There we go.
My head got chopped off?
Yeah.
Means I can't talk.
I need a stand for this thing. Well, then I can't do it like that, Bill, because then I'll just be sitting here like this all the time.
I don't mind.
I do, because I was going to get tired.
I'm ready to begin. You are, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Firefighters from the Denver Fire Department have been dispatched to a call at a metro stop in the downtown business district. While attempting to treat someone, a firefighter was stabbed. 2 of your officers have been dispatched and are on scene. They advise the firefighter is bleeding heavily and the suspect, who is armed with a knife, has run away on foot.
Okay. I would inform dispatch that I'm on my way to the scene. I would make sure that ambulance is coming. Make sure we get an updated description of the direction, as well as a description of the suspect, if he was on foot or in a vehicle. I would ask for Air 1 to come, put them up, and make sure EMS is coming, and that the scene starts getting secured. I would find out who's in charge, who the head officer is, the senior officer that's in charge of the scene, and contact them on the way there to get my other questions answered, making sure that they did update, got an ambulance coming, start securing the scene, taping it off, and then upon arrival I would state that I'm the incident commander and give the dispatcher my phone number because I'll ask for it, and then start getting my lead, if it might be a corporal, might be a senior officer, and start asking them questions about what's going on, and get the information, make sure the firefighter's okay, and start, if there's any witnesses, make sure we get them separated and get as much intel as we can about the description of the suspect, and then waiting for Air 1 to show up.
One of your officers has located a person they believe to be the suspect seated on a bench on the 16th Street Mall. The male is wearing the same clothes, holding a knife that is covered in blood. Your officer advises he has the suspect at gunpoint, but he has remained seated on the bench and is not responding in any way.
I would advise the dispatch that I'm going to go to that scene. I would have my corporal stay in charge, or the senior officer in charge of the scene and at where the stabbing actually occurred. I would make sure that I have a officer in the ambulance with the firefighter as he's being transported to the hospital, and that he understands, or she understands, that they must stay with the firefighter until we find out whether there's SBI or not, which we don't know if there is, but, and then I would head to the other scene and let Air 1 know that they're over there, and then we'd see if they can cover us from the top in case this person decides to move. I'll get other officers in there to support the one officer. We would want to have less lethal, either not only lethal, maybe on top of that a couple lethals, and make sure we have 4 or 5 officers there to have less lethal 40 or pepper ball, as well as a taser, and start seeing if we got a CIT officer that's available, and might even see if we got a clinician that might be able to show up and utilize them. Once I get on scene, start establishing a perimeter to keep everybody away. So I'd have to call in additional resources from the mall unit or from District 6 so that we can get it all taped off and have a large perimeter to keep everybody out of it while we're trying to talk to this person. As soon as I arrive, see if my CIT officer or the clinician are there, and seeing if we can just start talking to the person. But I want to make sure that we do have lethal and less lethal on the possible suspect. If I can get a witness that actually could just do a positive ID, I would get them coming from their first scene to the second scene, and see if we can get this, make sure we got the positive ID of this person. Oh, it's done. And then we're supposed to do 3 minutes.
Okay. While you're on scene with the suspect, the battalion chief, who is the supervisor of the firefighter who has been stabbed, is demanding you do something now. He wants to know why you have not arrested the suspect, and is demanding you act more quickly. He is getting visibly upset and ordering you as though you are his subordinate. Other firefighters who are colleagues of the injured firefighter are also getting there. Other firefighters who are colleagues of the injured firefighter are also there, getting visibly upset and are furious that you have not arrested the suspect.
I would pull the battalion chief off to the side. Before doing that, I would make sure that my senior officer is the CIT officer still making contact with the assistance of the clinician that's on scene, talking to the suspect, and then I would pull the battalion chief and say, I want all his firefighters outside of my perimeter, please, and explain to him that just like him, I have a job to do, and that I would appreciate all the support he can give me, and I will handle this in the most professional mannerism I can, according to our department policies and procedures, namely the mission statement. I can't remember off the top of my head because I'm nervous now. Have him talk to him as I would talk to a commander, with the respect he deserves, but with the understanding that I'm in charge. I'm the incident commander of this scene, and he needs to support me. And I would appreciate that, and if he'd keep his people back and let us do our job.
One of your officers tells you, Sarge, I got the shot. I can end this now. Let me take the shot. And then says, Sarge, are you going to authorize this or what?
At this point, I would look at him and say, no, we're not going to authorize it now. We're going to see if we can talk him down out of this. I've experienced it before where if you talk to him with the right people, the clinician and the CIT, that most people are very understanding and are willing to comply. I would ask that officer to step away and go onto my perimeter. I would discuss this with him later and have another officer take his position. But also, at this point, if we're not progressing in a timely enough manner, calling out an actual negotiator to talk with this person, or seeing what the clinician advises. The issue here is we want to keep the scene secure and the person relatively calm. If he's not making any making any movements aggressively, time is on our side. Now, while I'm also on scene, I'd also be talking to my less lethal and saying that if he does move or make a step forward, to make sure you say taser, 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 or 40, or pepper ball. Everybody make sure that you're paying attention to what's being said. Because if you don't say this, sometimes other officers get so involved in it that they'll do what sympathy shooting, and I wouldn't want that to happen. So I would clarify that. Probably I would do it several times during this incident to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Is there anything else?
at this time. Other than at the end of all this, I would do have to do an after action report, and I'd have to debrief everything. No, I'm done. I just remembered 100 different things that I forgot to say.
Okay.